Itay Morchi is an exceptional drummer and composer from Israel who began his musical journey at 6 and quickly rose to prominence through mentorship by Israel's finest musicians. Since 2016, he's been the drummer for piano legend Johnny O'Neill and his trio, performing at renowned venues and festivals worldwide, including Dizzy's Club Coca Cola and the Detroit Jazz Festival. With collaborations spanning jazz icons like Roy Hargrove, Robbie Coltrane, and Avishai Cohen, Itay's dynamic artistry and imaginative energy continue to elevate every musical setting he joins. So, Itay, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Abe.
Yeah.
My
So,
pleasure.
yeah, the pleasure is mine. So, we just started the new year. It's January 16th. So, kind of, talk to me about what 2024 brought for you. Any exciting things that you'll always remember, and what's on the horizon for, 2025.
Yeah, it was 2024. I actually just ended it by going to Europe with Johnny. We had a nice tour for about 12 days, and we haven't played in like about a year or so. I was busy. He was doing his thing with a lot of different rhythm sections. But funny thing about Johnny, and I'll get into that later, but he's always been like kind of like a guardian angel. When I need something, I need to play, I need help, I need something, I would call him and he would always have my back. And so this tour was also a result of a particular moment in life. I just asked him, "Hey, Johnny, I miss you. Let's play some more." And he immediately said, "Okay, there's a tour. Let's go to Europe." I did not expect that at all. But so that was wonderful. And hopefully this year is going to be a lot more work with him. There's something about Johnny. I don't know what is it. Maybe it's his time feel. Maybe it's the joyful music, but something about the way he plays and the music that he does, it just speaks to my soul on a level that's beyond comprehension. It resonates with every cell of my being whenever I play with him. And so, in that sense, Johnny, I give him the highest praise and I thank him for everything he taught me about what's the true essence of this music. You know,
Does his
it's
playing
about
bring out the best in you, you think? Like out of all the musicians you've played with, there's just something about him that you can really execute the 100% of yourself?
um, it's not even about me, right? It's about the music. But I feel that with him, because of the intention of let's make music together as a team and let's just have fun and let's just do what we do. We never have a set list. We never know what's going to happen. Never. It doesn't matter if we play in a big festival or a jazz club. We just go on stage and we do what we do. Always. We look at each other. We feel the moment. We play off of each other. So, in that sense, it's almost as if I'm removed from the situation and I'm just an observer and everything just happens by itself. The music plays itself, you know?
And that's the highest place you can get to in the music when you feel like you're an observer and it's just coming through you.
It is. It is. I've been thinking about that a lot this year. A lot about. I just had the realization. Wow, it's not about me at all. I'm by default. I'm in the way of the music because I have the physical limitations of my body and the thoughts in my mind. So it's all everything is in the way of the music to come out the way it wants to come out. You know.
Yeah. When I watch you play, you just have so much joy and but it's a natural joy. It's not, forced. Um, it's
Sometimes,
something.
sometimes it's forced.
What?
Sometimes it's forced. Sometimes it's forced, but rarely. You know,
No, but I
mostly
mean,
it's real.
well, you have to, be a certain type of person to let that come through you. Have you always been that type of player, or was there a point where you said, I'm maybe taking this music too seriously or something? Because, when young musicians are learning how to play jazz, they can kind of get locked into being almost too serious about it and forgetting what it's about. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a serious
Mm.
music, but have you always been that type of player that exudes that energy, you think, or is it something that progressed? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I think so. People have always been telling me, "Wow, you smile when you play. It's so nice." But when then I watch footage, I'm like, I'm not smiling. I look like I'm worried or something. Sometimes I'm like, because I'm so in the moment, my face just get relaxed. But there are other times where I feel the joy just, and recently it's been most of the time. I just feel it coming through because I look at the people I play with, whether it be a concert or a jam session, and if I want them to be happy, to have a good time. Sorry, I want them to be smiling and enjoying this experience as long as we're trying to play together, right? I see so many people today make it about themselves and trying to show off, or they're so eager and hungry to play that when they have the opportunity, it's like, I'll play 1,200 courses and it's my moment to shine. But that's wrong. It's a wrong attitude. And to get to the other side, we have to go through that. We have to go through that and have those lessons that lead us in the right way to serve the music. But I feel like if more people today would have the intention, like I moved to New York in 2013, and I remember the vibe, the stories about New York, how everyone plays the best music. They have the most energy. The standard is so high. And it's true, I saw that. People are playing together. It's about making that sound that you hear. They're like, wow, that's a band. And what a time feel and everything, the energy. You can't really find that anywhere else in the world like New York. So we should bring that back a little bit more. We need it in 2025. Maybe people, because people are afraid to vibe each other. I'm not saying tough love is the way, but there's a way to talk about these things because we're all here serving the music. We're all serving the music. It's easy to forget. It's easy to get confused and mixed up. We're making it about ourselves or things like that, but we're merely vessels for the music to flow through because it doesn't exist out here. Music does not exist in the world without us. It needs us to shine through, right?
That's true.
The way
Um,
that it wants to.
you're from Israel. I'm also Israeli as well. So
Shalom.
what?
Shalom.
Shalom, right. Um, my father's from Israel. He came to this country when he was in his early 20s and to
Mhm.
pursue the American dream. And there's so many success stories about musicians who come from Israel to in the jazz world
Mhm.
who come over here and do great things. So talk to me about, the learning, getting your start in Israel and learning the music there and how it shapes, you know, your journey a little bit if you can.
Of course. So I can say the majority of musicians you see here from Israel, in America, in New York, in jazz in general, we've all almost like 90% of us have been through the same high school, which I owe everything to. Without going there, I would not be playing jazz right now. It's called Telma Elin. It's a private arts high school, basically 15 years old, till like you're almost 18. And I remember going to this school and you have every kind of art. We have like jazz program, there's classical music, there's dancing, there's visual arts, acting, and you have all these kids
Well,
that
is
are
this in Tel
into
Aviv?
arts.
Is it in Tel
This
Aviv
is
or?
in like Give a Time. It's right outside of Tel Aviv.
Got it.
And you have all these kids passionate about art, studying together. Super cool and unique environment. But the reason the jazz education so was we had some teachers there that first of all were like mentors to us and behaved like way more than just a school teacher. They would hang out with us after hours and keep pushing us towards success and push us in the right direction if we're failing or things like that. And also, these teachers have studied in New York themselves. They've been here. Like we had a teacher named Amit Golan. God bless him. I'll tell you in a second. He studied with Barry Harris, the great Barry Harris, and he was teaching us the Barry Harris method for harmony and bebop and tradition. He would teach us jazz history. Like I feel the problem here is a lot of young musicians just start from like Michael Brecker or something like that.
Yeah.
They start from like the 70s without doing the homework of how everything came to be. And they teach us as the highest priority to go through the tradition, right? And learn the history of this music, learn the depth of this culture so we actually know it deeply. We had tests about, like in music history, jazz history, they would play a record and you would be like, okay, who's the trumpet player? Who's the saxophone player? Next tune. What year was this tune from? What play was this from? Like literally things that I won't sure I remember right now, but at that age, the standard was really high on teaching us this music. And it was also a very competitive environment, which I think is a good lesson to go through it when you're young. Because then we come here to New York and we don't have to deal with all the bullshit of the mind and the competitiveness
Because you've already
that a
gone
lot of
through it.
people didn't get to experience. Yeah, we already been through that in high school. You know what I mean? And now I had to cross an ocean to come here, and my life depends on me being able to play and working. Because if I won't have money, I won't be able to do anything. I have to go back home. So it's sort of that, it's that drive for purpose and fulfillment. It's the hard work that we've done, and it's the respect for the culture and the music. It's not, we 100% know where it came from. We know what's the essence of it, and we will always remember that. You know.
Yeah. Your audio was crackling just a little bit though. I mean, I think it's better now, but I think
Can you hear? Can you
yeah,
hear me now?
if you move back a little bit, I think it just came through a little better.
Now?
Let me see. Just say a couple things.
Here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I just the audio was
Okay.
crackling for a second, so it should be okay.
Okay. If you need me to take this off, I will.
Yeah, that might be better. I'm having problems with the AirPods for some reason.
Let's see. Let's see. How about now?
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
Yeah, I have to tell this is I have to tell people no AirPods allowed, but no, it's fine. This is jazz. We're doing it, right?
Yeah, we're
Anyway,
doing it.
I love what you're saying about that you went through this when at an early age, so that when you came here, it wasn't as intimidating. You went to the army in Israel, I'm assuming too, right?
Yeah, I was playing music though.
Yeah, playing music in the army.
It was kind of a big waste of time because after a couple of years, I realized, oh, I'm not helping anybody. Nobody needs me. They would send us on random things like I would play in the marching band, the orchestra. So if a president would come into Israel or something, we would play the official ceremonies, which was cool. We saw a lot of cool people. But
Not like straight ahead jazz though.
oh no, we would do that in after hours.
Yeah.
In
Did you ever
the
see the movie A la carte?
Oh, of course, about the military bands back in
Yeah,
the
yeah. Well,
day.
they have the four-piece
They
band,
used to be the biggest. They used to be all the rock stars. They
exactly.
were-
No, when you told me that you were playing that, I kind of thought about that for a second.
No, it was really not that kind of mystique and fame for the military bands was lost in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's great that, you're talking about your upbringing is just, so vital. You would not be the musician you are today. And let me ask you this. Can you recall a time that something non-musical that just comes to your mind has influenced your approach to playing, whether it's a book or a life event? Can you talk anything that's influenced your approach to jazz that comes to the top of your head?
Yeah, recently I read an interesting book. It has a weird name, okay, so ignore the name, but it's called The Way of a Superior Male, and it's basically more of a spiritual concept thinking, and he's saying in that book that we have, and I've been thinking about that a lot this year. There's three levels to everything we do and create and give in life. The first level is I do it for myself. Like, okay, I love playing music, I enjoy it, I'm doing it for myself. The second level is to do it for others. So understand the sense of purpose. I would like to make the audience happy, and I would like to make people feel good. I'd like to make my band members feel good. So that's the second level. You remove yourself, you go up to taking care of others. But then the ultimate level is to do it for something greater than you that was here before you and will be here after you're gone and where I came from. So you could be like, whether you call it God or music itself or spirit, but when you make it about a higher power, higher mission, I feel the best music comes out. You remove yourself, and I play for the music, for where it came, where it comes from, what it wants to fully be. So I just been thinking about that a lot. It's been actually really relieving because I don't need to impress anyone. I don't need to show anything to anybody. I'm just trying to make what the music wants to be. And when you do that, then all of a sudden people are smiling and they're having a good time in the audience and they're mesmerized and they're like charmed by the music. And then they come up to me later and they're like, never stop playing the drums. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And like, it's easy to go back to myself at that point, but I'm like, no, no, thank you so much. But there was the music coming through, you
Yeah.
know?
And music is such a healer too. Like not even like listening to records and feeling better. I'm just talking about just sound. Like if you listen to certain tones and meditate, you can feel your body relax and
Yeah.
it's just so powerful.
I do that every day. I do frequencies in my ears, meditation.
Binaural beats, that some of it, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. Every day. I'm not sure how much it actually works scientifically proven, but I definitely feel the effects every time I do it, you
Yeah,
know,
no, I agree with you. That's so cool that that you do that. Uh,
daily.
this music has so many, such deep roots, especially when it comes to drummers. I don't have to start listing you all the greats. What's it mean to you to, I mean, I know you're talking about like there's something greater here at work, but what does it mean to you to create something new in the music with there's so much history in this music? Is that just who you are, or is
What do
it
you mean create something new?
create some, well, quote unquote, have your own voice, as they say?
Hmm. I think everything was already invented.
Hmm.
All the sounds were already made. Everything already exists out there, one shape or form or another, but it's the way in which you express yourself. It's the way your unique expression, because similarly to how life manifests itself in consciousness, in people, in every kind of possibility it could be. So there's all kinds of different people. Every kind of possibility it could be, it will be, because life wants to experience itself. Same goes with music. Music will experience itself. Maybe I can play the same tune or invent something I think is new, but somebody already did it. But it's the way it wanted to come out specifically, uniquely through one's person's consciousness or the other. I have a
I think
theory.
you're talking about like we're the vessel. We're
Yeah,
already
yeah,
the
yeah.
vessel.
Always. We're always a vessel. I I've heard some bands recently that play like really modern music, like jazz. It's almost on the verge of free, but they're still reading. I've looked at their charts. It's so complicated. I can't even understand it. I can't comprehend it. But these youngsters, they're so smart. They're like geniuses. They grow up with YouTube and everything, and it sounds like they're just playing free, but it's not. They have some kind of a formula or pattern, or they read this extremely complicated music, and I hear it. I'm like, whoa, I can't even understand it. It goes to my brain. I'm like, I don't get it. And maybe it's just me. It's not for me. This kind
No,
of
no, no. It's that's the thing. There some some of this music can, and not just the free, it can almost become like you feel like you're in geometry class or math class, something like that. It becomes almost too technical and loses its original point in a sense.
them. I
It's
mean,
about
for
being
them,
clever.
For them, maybe it's the most fulfilling thing. And I see them playing and they're having such a great time. But I've seen the audience a lot of times, they're like, they're so confused. They try to understand what they're listening to.
Yeah.
Because we can't forget, it's show business. These people are paid money to see you, and they want to feel something. They don't want you to impress them. They don't want to see trickery. You're not in the circus. They want to see some real shit. Forgive my French.
No, please.
They want to see some real stuff. They want to see honesty, humility. They want to see generosity. That's why I learned all of that from Johnny because his shows are like I said, we never have a set list. He said that right off the bat. Like, we never have a set list. We don't have a plan set. And everybody's like, whoa, what? And then he invites guests on stage. He let us sing or talk or do things in the middle. It shows humility. It shows generosity. And it's not from a place of manufactured show. It's always authentic. So I see people laugh and cry and they go like this, they feel love in their hearts. And after the show, they come up to us and they're like, I feel like I'm high right now on something. Like,
That's the biggest
"Oh,
compliment you could get, you know?
it is, it is. I just found out that what works and speaks to my soul, every musician to each their own, but pretty songs, pretty melodies, nice songs anyone can resonate with that, you know?
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of old Lou Donaldson records,
Ooh.
and you know, some of the music is just, quote unquote simple, but it just got so much there, and to innovate that at the time and have the balls to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's the blues,
It's a blues.
and it makes people feel good.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, a lot of some would say like this one, they're all different, and but that's just something that came to my mind when as you were talking about that. So
Speaking of the blues, or in jazz in general, I've been thinking, because our teachers taught us how it came from such terrible oppression of people and suffering, and it was the only means for them to express themselves. And so, but I've been listening to Baby Dodds. You know Baby Dodds?
mm,
He's a drummer from New Orleans, from back in the day, legend, before jazz was even really a thing. And there's an amazing record where he just talks about the purpose of the music and why they do it. And there was New Orleans before there was even drum set. There
was this
was,
they call like a trap drummer or something, right? Is that what it
uh,
was?
I don't know what, never heard that term before. But he was playing the snare drum and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. And so he's saying that originally they were playing in funerals.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we got to make all these people happy. That's why we're here. Even though we came from suffering, from pain, from oppression, it's someone created a formula for this music that, if done correctly, it just spreads joy. It's music of joy, of happiness, of happy to be alive. Let the good times roll. Be happy, and that's the when I realized it, I'm like, wow, that is it. Of course, if I come from pain and suffering, and I want to have something that when I do it, when I experience it, it just brings me joy, so I forget.
Yeah. Well,
Our
as, as you're talking about this, it's like I'm really, everyone has pain, and their pain is maximum to them, regardless of what it is.
Mhm.
So that's why we have to. The goal is to lift people.
That pain is the blues too.
Yeah.
Like if you, I won't forget that I was playing with Johnny. Maybe it was 2017 or something, and we're playing in this big festival, and I met some musicians there that I'm a big fan. I met Ruben Rogers and Greg Hutchinson,
Oh, wow.
and they're like, "Oh, you're playing with Johnny? Cool, cool," because they obviously know who he is, and we hanging out. And then they told me, "Man, you're swinging, but you got to get your heart broken a couple of times." And I didn't understand at the time what they were saying. But after getting my heart broken a couple of times, I get it all. It's so true. It's so true. That's the meaning of the blues. It has to be personal. There has to be something personal from the heart, from inside. Like when you're really heartbroken and you hear Ella Fitzgerald singing a love song. I couldn't even listen to these songs. I couldn't even listen to ballads when you're really heartbroken, and you're like, because then all of it makes sense finally.
Oh yeah, man.
All the lyrics and all the blues. Are like, oh, now I get it. It's sort of this rite of passage experience you have to go through. So that's my advice to young cats here always. They come, "Well, how do I do?" Get your heart broken. Go live life.
live life. Yeah, go live.
I've gotten better not from practicing, but from living life, from being open to the world and meeting people and seeing and experiencing. This is your fuel for your expression, you know.
Yeah,
And
there's so much out there in the world that that the world offers us, and it's a shame that certain musicians get so locked into this one-dimensional way of thinking. It's like, oh, there's gigs, and I have to be like dark or XYZ, and I'm just so, you know what I mean? But there's a whole world of beauty out there. I feel like musicians can have the tendency to forget those things 'cause it's always like just music, 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 you know?
yeah, yeah, it gets into the mind, where the balance between the mind and the soul. Like I've known a lot of people personally that are like kind of practice freaks, right? They're perfectionists, and I'm perfectionist too, but they never stop. They like practice every day, and it's sort of a loop that never ends. And you already condition yourself to not be satisfied with yourself.
Yeah.
So every day it's again, oh, I'm not good enough. I have to do it. And then the reality manifests into being. Even though they're some of the baddest cats I've ever heard. Like, why are you practicing? You don't need to practice. Go out and do things. But they choose to practice and keep being in that room alone with their mind, with their thoughts. I think it's good when you're young to do that.
Oh
Um,
yeah, man. Like when I went to college, I didn't leave. I just practiced and practiced. But it's
to
then like when you get
practice
into
all
the
day
real
long.
world, you have bills to pay.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you can't lock yourself. You got to pay your rent, and
yeah. You gotta pay. We gotta pay the rent. We gotta get
yeah,
the work done. No one else is gonna do it for us.
yeah.
It's a thing. Also, I see a lot of my Israeli friends. They come here to New York. They only hang out with Israelis. I'm like, bro, why'd you come to New York? To stay in Tel Aviv? Oh wait, I'm getting an alert that I have time left.
Oh no, yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes anyway. Don't
Okay, okay,
worry.
cool. Yeah, just making sure. But yeah, I keep telling my friends, mingle, meet people. Some of the most incredible experiences I've had were because I went out of the comfort zone and got to hang out with people that are from here. That's why we came here, you know. We came
Yeah,
to ingrain ourselves into this scene and make the best music that we can. And I feel now, after all these years, we're starting to be appreciated for that. Like some people come up, oh, you Israeli cats, you're the baddest. You don't know how to play. Oh, all of you know this. She's kind of true. It's kind of true. We have so much appreciation for this music, this culture, and where it came from. You know.
yeah. I mean, I think there's something to be said for that though, and I don't even think it's necessarily about. Uh, I think the high school plays into consideration, but when you talk about Israel and all I don't have to start naming. It's a country where like when you have like rockets go, you know what I mean? Like, and you learn how to appreciate life, and you have to live in a different way. I think survival.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I mean, I think about that, like we wouldn't, my father has been back to Israel, I think once or it's in the last, 20 years or something, because probably just because I mean he has his brothers and sisters go, but there's sort of a survival element too, I think. So at least that's
Yeah,
what I
maybe
was told.
there's something. Maybe there's something deeper too that I'm not particularly aware of, and I'm sure there is. It's I don't know. It's a spiritual land too. It's important to so many people. There's something there on the land that you can feel energetically.
Yeah,
But now in New York, I've met people here from all over the Middle East that became close friends of mine. Like friends from Gaza and friends from Syria and Lebanon and Jordan, and we have the most beautiful, peaceful conversations. My friend from Gaza showed me musicians that play jazz there. Like I didn't even know it fucking existed, and
yeah.
we live next door. And that's important. I wish one day we could collaborate and do something together for peace. That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Music brings peace.
oh, absolutely. And this is a great conversation. I love how open and honest you were to talk about everything, and I want to say thank you. So, where can everybody find you on, Instagram, all that stuff, so we can
I'm on
post?
Instagram on Morchi drums, and I have a new band now. It's called Trio. It's a trio, and we do a lot of the things I learned from Johnny and about showmanship, and just to have a fun, engaging show that makes people feel good. So we're playing this month. We're playing at Smalls. I'll tell you exactly when. And at Ornithology. We're playing at Smalls on the 29th of this month and Ornithology on the 27th. If any,
What's the 29th? I'm looking at my calendar.
29th is a Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday?
Yeah, 10:30 till 1.
Yeah. 10:30 start. All right. I'm
That's
gonna try to come. I'm gonna try to come out to that. It's
please be my guest.
yeah, yeah. Well, listen, man, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Oh yeah, man.